just in a meeting with Representative Tom McMillin. You're all teachers, correct?
Yes.
And so just kind of go from, where are you teaching right now?
I live in Rochester Hills and I teach in Troy.
Okay.
I live in Rochester and I teach in Troy.
I live in Rochester and teach in Troy.
Same.
Okay.
In Rochester and teach in Avondale.
Okay, have any of you researched, he was mentioning this 1.4% number. Are any of you familiar with whether that's a correct number or not, or what kind of dollars we're talking about that your schools have been cut?
Nothing's official yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, but what you're looking at, have you looked at the numbers to see what kind of numbers and what it's going to mean for your schools as far as the dollars that we're cutting? Or talking about cutting?
Dollar-wise, no, but program-wise and layoff-wise, we know a little bit about how it's going to affect our district, but percentage and dollar-wise, we're...
Okay. And what programs will it affect in your... Where do you teach and what programs are
I
you...
teach in Avondale.
Okay.
And nothing is, again, for sure, but
Right.
currently we do have 80 staff that got laid off, and there are talks of cutting programs from elementary up to high school, and things have been mentioned such as our Gifted and Talented program, our middle school counselors. We've already lost our elementary school counselors, but our middle school counselors would be reduced. Those are the ones that come to mind right now.
Okay, now you mentioned 80 teachers. I know almost every year, there's a lot of layoff notices that go out. So is this a higher than normal number of teachers that have gotten layoff notices?
Is it similar to last year?
The reason it was similar to last year is because we had to close a building. But based on the 18 years I've been in the district, these are huge numbers, and it's based on the cuts.
And I assume it'll mean that if everything goes through the way it's planned now, that there'll be bigger class sizes?
Definitely.
Do you have an idea how many more students per class we're looking at yet?
Not at this time.
And the dollars that they're talking about restoring, because we're talking about 1.4%, that was the number Mr. McMillin kept using. Even though we don't, do you have any sense whether that's really the number, or if you just don't really have a sense of numbers yet?
I'd like to see it in writing.
Yeah, because I keep hearing like this is going to be the $470. I guess it's been decreased a little bit now because they did this. They did the revenue estimating committee, and it looks like we're going to have some more money than they were talking about.
One of the a spreadsheet that was sent. It came from the board office, but this was before the extra revenue. The original cuts would have cut over $900,000 from our school budget. And that was the $470 per pupil plus cuts in other places like to special ed funding and so forth. Now, how much that restores, I guess what they're doing is replacing some of the money toward the teachers' retirement and so forth, so that money is freed up in our budget. And it would still be a cut, but not as drastic.
Okay, Mr. McMillin too was talking about using technology and using online teaching. And some of you had some pretty strong objections to that. Is that, in your mind, I know you're all teachers and you probably have a little bit of a bias toward having, obviously, teachers in the classroom doing the best job, but is that a realistic way to teach children? Is that the best way, in your opinion, to teach children?
It's an absolute wonderful way to teach children, but the way that he was talking about that going in the direction, and I believe he mentioned something about instead of having 30 children in the classroom, you could teach so many more with this online program. Coming from an elementary classroom, it's wonderful to teach with technology, but if you are missing the teacher who's doing the presentation and you're missing the teacher who's making those connections with the kids,
so you're saying
guiding
basically
them towards a website and having them sign up for a program just is not
so
going to be as
one way
effective.
would be, let's say a kid at home logging on, saying, okay, I'm logging on to this website, I'm going to learn whatever, I'm going to take whatever
Absolutely.
course, versus
As a resource.
using technology in the classroom with the teacher
Yes.
assisting.
Right.
That's kind of your argument.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of technology isn't right for every student either. Everybody's different, and there's certain children that could sit and do quite a bit of that all day long. You could probably put them there for 8 hours and they would learn. But most young kids, being a lower elementary teacher, they're not going to sit there and actually learn from that solely. They need interaction.
Any I guess, general comments about what you heard specifically about education?
Just a point
Sure.
that I know, just being a student myself going to college, I've taken an online course before, and I can tell you I do not learn via online class. I need to be in front of a teacher that I can interact with and ask questions and be in that classroom experience, I don't think you get as much out of an online course, even as an adult, let alone a 7-year-old with an attention span of 10 minutes.
Or less.
Even high school freshmen, because we know they're really well behaved when they're and on task when there's nobody there, but
Okay, can you just so I have this, can I just go down the line, just kind of give me your name so I have a record of it?
My name's Ann.
Okay,
I'm Heidi.
okay.
Marilyn Foster.
Carolyn Johnson.
Heidi A. Paul. Gigi Buchanan.
Sarah's plan.
And Julie.
Thanks.